Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard Hangar Studios Flight 713. Today's flight time will be about 1 hour and 13 minutes following takeoff. The content creator of this flight is Captain Godwin Grimm, and this is your favorite developer, B4 Gunner. Please make sure that your seat back is in the upright position, your tray table is closed, and your seatbelt is fastened. We recommend that you continue to fasten your seatbelt while seated during the flight. Also refrain from using any electronic devices during takeoff and landing for safety reasons. Your cooperation will be much appreciated. If there is anything we can do for you, please let us know. We wish you a pleasant flight. Thank you.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Welcome everybody. We're watch party. We're for the Starship watch parties. Starship watch party. I've got it's SpaceX coverage says 7:35 to begin. I'm gonna fly it for the next half an hour or so. I'll fly around down here at SpaceX. Looks like I'm on the wrong runway. On my brakes. That's done it. Oh! Alright, we'll just do it the old fashioned way. That's full fuel valve. Where's brakes? Where's my brake lever? Where the hell is my brake lever? Fuel, that's door eject. Ah, there we go. I am at, where am I? Just north of the rocket launch site, right here. KPIL. I'm trying to keep an eye on a couple of streams that are live down there, as well as SpaceX is official, so we can switch over when it goes live. Oh yeah, I'm not flying 2024. Nobody else can fly along. Kind of boring, actually. Bubbly sneeze. Oh, disgusting name. Yeah, to be honest, that's one of the biggest things I found with 2024 is there's nobody flying because it doesn't have multiplayer, so that kind of takes a lot of the fun out of the sim. Like the vast majority of the fun out of it for me, anyways. I got seriously mixed feelings on it. I keep telling myself it's a beta, it's an alpha, it's not even a beta. But man, they left some of the stuff bad. So I'm hoping they can fix it, or have already fixed it before it even goes out. Wanted to fly with other people today. Ooh. People on the stream is saying you got some info that is really old build and just stress testing some. Yeah, I knew they were just stress testing some certain parts. and it is an alpha build, but usually when you do a public alpha build with no NDA, you don't put in stuff that's going to look bad. Like quite obviously the ships is screwed up, and that the same cruise ship is in the downtown of every city in the country. Things like that. I shouldn't want to take my engine out. I'm just hoping that... Hey, good morning, Gammy. I'm just hoping a couple of the things like the bridges are a little better, or a lot better. Because even though photogrammetry was off, the photogrammetry bridges that did show up were freaking terrible. Like Ford selling a picture by having 13-inch rims on it. Look at what we have coming out next year. Yeah. But hey, it was free to test. The planes flew nice. The planes flew very good. Clouds look okay. I thought the clouds looked kind of crappy because I couldn't turn DLSS off. So that was an issue. And the water looked kind of crap because I couldn't turn DLSS off. With DLSS off, I don't get any of that weird shit on the water like here. I do get a little line running out about there with rendering, but I can render every frame. I don't need to fake frames. The clouds is better here. Trees are better there, by far. I can tell you right now, I hope my power lines mod carries over to the man. The new ones, trees are a lot better. I think you're getting little stutters here. I don't know why this morning. Why? Bad? No, I bet I don't like. Maybe. I didn't restart before I started. A little marina mod. I don't even know where I'm at. I'm in Texas somewhere. Yeah, I think Brownsville way the hell down here. Down here somewhere. I don't know. Just figured I'd fly along the Texas coast. While we kill time waiting for the SpaceX to start their broadcast. Okay, their broadcast schedule says 7:35. I am keeping an eye over on NASA's space flight because they have live cameras on it, but I can't show you that. I don't have permission for that one. Everything's still go. There's the fuel farms are venting like crazy. Where the hell's that road going? That way. These islands are great. I've been out on quite a few of them, driving up and down them. And they also get erased every time a hurricane comes by because they're not very far off the ground. Everything on them just kind of gets wiped away. Start over. Oh, if the rocket's starting to vent, or the tower's venting, some pretty good vents going on. Well, I do feel that it's on track to be just like Flight Sim 2020, that the first 6 months of 2024 is pretty much going to be the beta test. Because they've already said not all the features will be available on launch, so that means we don't have the game ready to launch. For some reason, I think it'll work better on the Xboxes as long as you got a good internet connection, because it doesn't hold much on it streams almost everything, which is going to stink if your internet's slow or spotty or you're not online. With these alpha and beta tests, you got a couple thousand people, tens of thousands of people trying to wait until they get a million on it at the same time. Yeah, exactly. See where people have been out here doing donuts and shit. Driving their vehicles. A town? Certainly looks it. Looks like where SpaceX built was a little town like this, Boca Chica Village, and they pretty much bought up every home but like 3 or 4 people that didn't sell. And those people that didn't buy or sell out have to evacuate their homes on launch days and things like that. Certain days have to evacuate because they're too close. Yep, little tiny home, little tiny town. Probably one convenience store, one gas station, one little tiny grocery store. There's TPHI chilling back there. Got a lot of smoke going on. I definitely got to fix my buttons on the other one. Good evening, leaded rapier. How you doing, Wes? That's the rocket engine. This thing goes at a good clip. 120, 130 cruise is pretty damn good. I'm all right. I'm tired. Sunday's usually my one day I can sleep in a little bit. It's not this day. Can't wait to watch this beast go up. I don't know where the hell I'm at. Down there. And SpaceX is like way the fuck down here. So we're not going to get there before the launch. There's misses and there's pink one. It worked now because I updated to the newest one. Or you updated to the newest one. I was on the newest one. I see your pink livery. I didn't hack it. I was going to. I was going to hack it and put a really silly livery on there. I'm going to make something stupid like a 9-cat livery, but I don't know how to make them. And I was going to hack it, put it on the pink livery. I'm out of coffee. How the hell can I be out of coffee already? I know it. I should use the big cups, but I don't like the big cups much. This is water time. According to SpaceX, they're about 30 minutes away from their broadcast coverage. They still have 7:35 listed. What the hell is this? Everybody's upside down. I can do that too. So much easier to fly upside down when you're in the cockpit than outside the cockpit. You're out of tea. Should go make a coffee before it starts, but that's alright. We'll be fine. The best part of this is it's all going to be, I mean, we'll stay on till the second stage, or the Starship lands in the ocean. But the first stage coming back is going to be rather quick. It's going to be in the first few minutes. A few minutes up, 2 minutes back. No, I'll be fine. The plane will crash before I get back from making a coffee. So. Asking Bubbles. You suppose she's going to be blowing bubbles? That's why she's asking. I had to go there. I swear to start the morning. Little turbulence here. What? Oh, the person's name is Asking Bubbles. I was wondering if she was going to be blowing bubbles later. That's why she's asking. Looks like the sun is starting to come up a bit down there at SpaceX. What's that person's name up there? There, an F-22. Can't type. Too early. Too early. My time is 7:19 in the morning. this the time you stream at? Well, I'm normally up at 6:30. Not on Sundays. Sundays is day of rest. It's funny, I was watching a short video on YouTube where they were showing a bunch of the shit the pilots and their crew do before they take off. The fighter pilots and shit they do before they take off. They all have their own little rituals. And it must be a high stress job thing, because almost every single race car driver I know has a ritual that we do before they head out on the track. It must be a high stress thing. Or high, not stress, but high energy job thing. Gotta teach missus how to do a proper barrel roll instead of an aileron roll. Can you do a barrel roll? You got the barrel roll figured out, do you? Or just aileron rolls? We need a bit more altitude for aileron. Over 800 feet, but for barrel roll. They're easier to do from inside the plane. You pick an object like right over here where it's flat, it's kind of hard to. You want to keep that object in your field of view the whole time you go around the top. And I failed miserably. It was close to a barrel roll. The trick is you want to go up and around, and you want to come back out at the same altitude and level you started at. So it's more of a you're putting in inputs all the way around, and that one sucked. That one sucked bad. They're a lot harder. Looks like the upper half of the tower is venting. That means fuel's getting pumped up that high. Fuel and oxygen. Let's start shutting some of this shit down. I'm going to try just a second here. Oh, I can't do that either. I'll get it working, man. Had it working last time. Web page. Oh, you're not showing the web page. Move to the top. Oh, there we go. Okay, shut that off for now. I want to make sure I had it lined up, ready to go. at this green swamp. I bet that is that farm field, or do you think that's swamp? I think it's swamp. Hey, there's a wombat back there too. Oh, get out of my plane. Ah, the rocket stream. Rocket stream. Good morning, Brett. Or evening, Brett.
Hello, and welcome to another... Hang on a minute, it's not my stream. Nice.
Yeah, I like that one. We're waiting on the SpaceX to go live here. About 10 minutes. Uh, 5 minutes. I got a timeout cooler. I got a timeout on everybody. All right, I'll do the nice for you. That really cuts down on the number of people spamming the freaking.
I used to say, fuck off. Now I say, that's nice.
Yeah, I have everybody on a 5-minute timeout but me. Really cuts down on the spamming of the sounds. I figured I could just tape it when I did. There you go. See, it worked. Yep, it did. I love that tail stall. Pretty bonkers. It's one of the only planes in this sim that does it. Morning, William Kelly. Yeah, we're kind of heading in that direction, but we're not going to make it before the. We started quite a ways north. Just wanted to play around. Is it delayed a bit? What did I just see? SpaceX is still showing 7:35 a.m. for their broadcast. Oh, 7:45 now. You're right. I didn't update it. Well, we might make it to the broadcast site. It's going to be interesting to see if they catch it or not. They said there's a point where they're going to have, it's a point of no return. They're either going to say yes, they're going to try to catch it, no, they're going to ditch it. So I was wondering, what if they get down close and realize it's not going to work and they just use the rocket motors to push it farther out to sea? Or do they still just come in and hit the ground near SpaceX? I don't know. I have no idea. Thought I turned off the pilot, fuel pilot, still showing sitting in there. Must only work from inside. Oh yeah, it's a visibility thing. I'm gonna go make coffee. Alright, plane, don't crash. Wait, does this thing have? Do I have the autopilot version? Yes, I do. Does it have elevation hold? Yeah, I do, okay. Perfect. I'll be right back. Gonna go get some coffee. There we go. Guess we don't need that on anymore. Hey, Stu. Good morning, sir. Where did everybody go? Ah, there's everybody. Beans picked, roasted, ground coffee made. Very quick. I just microwave hot water and dump in the instant. I'm not a coffee snob. I drink whatever the fuck is available. Yeah, most of Texas is just flat too. Like the whole freaking state, just one giant flat. And the hill country is literally just little tiny hills. What a boring drive from here to Houston. From Brownsville to Houston. God, that drive was so boring. This is making your second coffee. Nice. I had to make my own. Fucking Maddie too lazy to make it for me. Oh, the road that goes up to the beaches. You can off-road a lot of these beaches. They have off-road trails. You can camp on a lot of these beaches. Now that look on the other feed, I can't show you that one. Man, I can't wait. I'm using beer to power the rocket. Let's check out this area 24. Yeah. This area does just kind of swampy and doesn't look right. I haven't checked out SpaceX in 24. I should have, but what does it look like? Give me a second. What does it look like? Are you fucker? Why the hell they keep putting that back on? I thought I could see that freaking ripple. Alright. I've seen the DLSS crap. There. Now it's stopped. Oh, that still looks like shit. But I wasn't getting those fake lines rolling through the ocean. I hate that. Yeah, it sounds stupid, but I don't know why I keep turning DLSS back on. I gotta put TAA on, but yeah, yes, I did hear that somebody's going to have to literally say yes, it's safe to land. I did read that somewhere, or saw it on one of the things today or yesterday. Yeah, it requires someone to physically say yes. gonna be interesting. Like I said, there's so many things I'm wondering about. How last minute can they abort? Like dump it just offshore, or can they, if they're coming in for the catch and all of a sudden they realize it's not going to work, and they just take whatever remaining fuel there is and pitch it towards the ocean? Or do they just at some point they just got to eat it? Even if it looks like they're not going to catch, at some point they just got to like open the chopsticks up and let it come in and scream into the pad. No idea what the case is, but the up and down is not going to take but about 5 minutes. I think the initial burn 8 minutes? No, the upper, I don't know. Even the Falcon 9 booster aimed for just offshore until the last minute, and yes, but they were talking today that they may not be able to do that with this one because it has a totally different thrust profile. It doesn't have a landing burn. No, I turned it back on. I had to shut it off. It freaking keeps turning DLSS on. I don't like it. My computer can render every frame. It doesn't need fake frames. And the fake frames look like crap. Because you can see them, it repeats frames constantly. They don't need it. Turns it back on. Yeah, I don't know, but it keeps putting DLSS back on. It's like they're trying to force it. Remember this episode from Pigs in Space? Yeah, I know that this Falcon 9, when it comes down in dog legs to land. So it's basically coming down to sea and side steps to the landing pad. But can they do it with this one with no landing burn? Because this thing just comes screaming in, or with no entry burn. This thing just comes screaming down. I'm sure they probably still target offshore and then move towards the landing pad. But I'm saying, what if at the last possible minute they realize, shit, we're not going to be able to catch it, something's wrong. Can they pitch it back out to sea? You know, use the last of the thrust to get it out away from the tower anyways. Like 10 seconds of burn just to move it away from the tower and back to the water. Or did they just have to let it pile in? I gotta turn TAA back on, but it at least got the DLSS off. Jesus. Like, they're forcing it. And on the other one I couldn't, on the 2024, obviously it's a beta build, or alpha build, but I couldn't find out how to see it. I refresh to see if we're still on for 5 minutes from now. Yeah, it's still showing 4 minutes. We gotta find a place to land, find a beach. Right there's a nice looking beach. No flaps, so that'll be fun. Hit the brakes. Oh, is there? Airport? How far is the airport out? Oh, right there. Okay, we'll go for the airport. It's fun flying a plane with no flaps. You've got to get creative. I'll tell you, with no flaps, this thing had trouble getting off the runway at 12,000 feet. Land upside down, or just fucking leave your landing gear up. Yeah, much better the water looks without the TLS. That's garbage. But the TAA helps fix that rolling crap off the distance. But amazing how short it stops with no gear. God, plane, kick it in the ass. We got 2 minutes to get there. We'll blow the engine. Right, we'll just start the SpaceX coverage and still land it. I gotta remember shut my spoke off before I land. Cause massive cloud and can't see anything. Is that a road? A long black strip, or is that the airport? We have to burn on. Yours hasn't changed, huh? They put mine back on. It might be when I loaded the other one, I don't know. But that one you can't shut it off either. I just couldn't find where to shut it off. Alright, we'll get the SpaceX coverage going as soon as we land. Gonna bounce. Gonna bounce, gonna bounce. Come on, you got this. There's due west. Due west landing. You want to stop it? Just whip a Huey. There we go. I'm going to leave it right here parked for a second while I dig around and get SpaceX's stream going. Apparently, if I can. Do they have it up yet? Tell me this broadcast hasn't started. They're not giving me an updated time yet. 2 minutes late. All right, well, we'll sit here for a minute. We will just sit here for a minute. You know what I can do? I can just bring it up on this keep forgetting I can do that. I can just bring it up on this computer, watch it over on that one. Yeah, I want their watch. It's not playing. No delay on it yet. Oh well. Is that ETA 37 minutes to launch or 37 minutes to start of the thing? They push it back. I got 58 minutes to launch. Yeah, so does that space flight, but what they have SpaceX's launch stream on? I can't get SpaceX's stream. Why can't I get their fucking stream on? Interesting. No, there's a whole bunch of YouTube streams that are fake. Those are his cameras. Everyday Astronaut, those are his cameras. Yeah, those are his cameras, not the official stream. Everyday Astronaut, anyways, those are his cameras. I can't use those. I can only use the SpaceX feed. And there's a big fake one on. There is a very big fake one on YouTube. Yes, that is fake, Stu. That SpaceX stream is fake. It's been reported dozens of times. Even SpaceX has reported it. At T-minus 23 minutes. That is fake. It says SpaceX with a music note, not a check mark. It is fake. So. No, it's alright. A lot of people think it's real because it looks real. They're trying the timing. There's 100-some thousand people watching it. And they got 100,000 people watching, and they're not going to see the real one because they're not watching the right stream, which is kind of sad. I can't use Everyday Astronauts or the NASA space flights streams. They got some cool stuff. Yeah, it's interesting how they set it up weeks ahead of time. They were showing how they do these things. They set it up weeks ahead of time before the events and get it monetized, like with fake buy all the things needed to make it monetized. And they get everything set, and then the day of the event they post it. They change the name to something that looks official, and literally make tons of freaking money off of it. Whoops. Brett, your wrong end hit the runway. Oh, wait, no SpaceX feed yet. Come on, SpaceX. Oh, give me an update. Oh, it's live. Hold on. It's live. SpaceX broadcast is live. Turn it down a little. For some reason that's not going. Oh, let me get that over to the. There we go. There, go back to full screen. Perfectly clear. Yeah, last time it was cloudy. Oh, here we go. Now watch me get a hit on the music. Get your mouse out of there. You're giving a big shout out to SpaceX for allowing anybody and everybody to use the stream. It's not 4K, unfortunately. Hopefully he owns Twitter. Hopefully he fixes that at some point so we can get some real high def. So. Look at this thing. I can't wait. This is epic. It's gonna be incredible. We're watching that one peel apart and it still landed. Well, landed softly in the sea.
It is 6:54 a.m. in Starbase, Texas. A gorgeous sunrise, and Starship is targeting liftoff in just 30 minutes and 18 seconds from now.
She has the greatest hair.
7:25 a.m. Central Time.
Usually.
As you can see, it is a
Oh,
beautiful
not today.
day in South Texas for the
It's
fifth
early.
flight
She's like,
test
"Ah, shit."
of Starship. Good morning, Star people. I'm Kate Tice.
And I'm Jesse Anderson, and we are joining you live from SpaceX Hawthorne with a big crowd here this morning. It's been roughly 4 months since our last Starship flight, and we've got a big morning ahead of us.
A little
Flight
bird.
5, has a few primary objectives and one big first. We may be attempting to catch the super heavy booster. The teams at Starbase have been hard at work around the clock upgrading hardware across the entire tower with focus on the chopsticks, the 2 mechanical arms that will reach out and catch the returning booster. We're only going to attempt the catch if everything on the booster and tower checks out after launch, but either way, excitement is definitely guaranteed.
Definitely. Today's Starship features a completely reworked heat shield with stronger tiles and a secondary layer, which is an extra layer of protection for the ship that will protect from any of the that will help protect if there's any missing or damaged tiles. Now, not only did we replace the entire heat shield with our newest generation of stronger tiles for today's flight, we'll also be flying a handful of aluminum tiles that are there to help the team understand the thermodynamic environment during re-entry. If you were with us for Flight 4, you'll know how hard those heat shield tiles worked during the ship's re-entry.
Did they ever? As you can see, they worked incredibly hard. This big heat shield rework that we're talking about promises to increase the likelihood of Starship being better protected during controlled re-entry as it heads towards its flip maneuver and landing burn for a soft splashdown on target in the Indian Ocean, just like we did in Flight 4. And we'll have to wait and see. Keep your fingers crossed, but we may have some new views in store for you today as well.
Oh boy,
right,
cool.
Like
New
all
views.
test flights, we
Yeah.
want to learn as much as possible, and views of
The
Starship
weather's
during
beautiful,
all phases
huh?
of flight help us to keep improving the vehicle for recovery and reuse.
Now, thinking forward to when Starship is flying regularly, it will take the heaviest payloads to space, land humans on the moon again after more than half a century, and ultimately fly people further into space than ever before. And getting there will require us to rapidly iterate and fly often, which is why we're working so hard to scale operations at Starbase.
Yeah, the faster that we learn now, the faster we can improve and evolve Starship to achieve reliable flights and rapid reusability. We've been designing this vehicle from day one to realize a vision of having an entire city of people on Mars, something we know will take launching millions of pounds of cargo and equipment into space, spread across
Drones having
thousands of
connection
flights.
problems.
This future will require many Starships that can fly again and again, and today's flight is a critical step on that path.
So buckle up your seatbelts because here we go. The moon and Mars are not nearly as far in the future as you may think. In fact, we're planning to send starships to Mars as soon as 2026.
You might be familiar with the Starlink logo, and there you can see it on your screen. It's an iconic representation of the Mars transfer orbit, also called the Hohmann transfer orbit. This is how fundamental Mars is to SpaceX. This transfer window, or a time when the Earth and Mars are the closest to each other, opens every 26 months and is only open for about 2 to 3 months at a time for a vehicle with Starship's power. And it just so happens that the next Mars transfer window opens in 2 years towards the end of 2026.
Yeah, lining up a launch to Mars is similar to how we launched to the International Space Station, where we time launches to match the station's orbit. If we didn't do this, we'd need more propellant and more time to get there.
Exactly. So the first opportunity that we have to fly starships to Mars, we plan on doing it. These first flights to Mars will be uncrewed and will test the reliability of landing intact. If those landings go well, the first crewed flights will follow soon after.
The best part is being stainless steel. They can use those tanks and shit when they get to Mars with humans
Not only have we
as
made
building
several
material.
improvements to the Starship flying today based on what we've
They're already
learned
pressure
from
hulls.
our last flight, including extensive upgrades to Starship's hardware and software, we've also made improvements to the launch tower and catch mechanisms.
And if you've noticed in some of the live views this morning, our teams have completed stacking the second launch tower, which will be coming online next year.
Yeah.
Having 2 operational launch towers paired with ships and
I broke it. There
away
we go.
from the 2 towers, things are moving really fast at the heart of Starbase. Star Factory is rapidly coming online, with production teams already using the space as construction continues. The 1 million square foot Star Factory brings many
Look at that
parts of the
shit.
manufacturing process under one roof for the first time, enabling moving as much system integration work as possible earlier in the build process, with the goal of eventually producing hundreds of starships a year.
Oh, that's not me.
That's crazy. It's such an impressive building. So, for example, teams can assemble an entire nose cone structure of a ship into a single piece and work on its internal systems all in one place. So if you're working on Starship and you have a question about the steps that you're working that happen before or after yours, instead of having to leave
Mom,
the
Dad,
building and go and find the person or the team with
black
the
and white
answer,
little one.
or waste time sending an email and waiting for their response, odds are you're right next to that person or team, and now you're working right alongside them, so you don't have to wait for a response.
Yeah, exactly. It makes it a lot more efficient and faster to communicate. So not only are we rapidly iterating on these spacecraft themselves, but we're also innovating the way that they're made.
It's almost too much to keep
That
up
shit.
with.
We're also posting updates on our account on X if you can't keep up. That'll help you. So if you don't already, make sure that you follow us at SpaceX on X. And I have a feeling it's going to get pretty busy.
Oh, that is definitely an understatement.
And it's definitely going to be very exciting today. So with that, let's meet today's Starship on the pad. Starship features 2 major parts: the ship, which has 6 Raptor engines, and the Super Heavy booster, which has 33 Raptor engines. The current iteration of Starship is essentially an experimental vehicle flying for development. With a few planned upgrades, Starship will have 3 times the thrust of Saturn V, plus the added benefit of full reusability.
Damn, 3
Starship
times the
2
thrust.
will be capable of carrying more than 100 tons to orbit, and Starship 3 will be able to lift more than 200 tons to orbit.
Holy
The amount of
Christ.
mass we're able to launch per rocket is crucial to creating a self-sustaining city on Mars.
Now, to get a sense of how big Starship is, let's
Imagine
start
if they had
with
a Hemi
the
in that.
average-sized human, which is about 2 meters high. Towering over our average human is the length of the Millennium Falcon, which comes in at 35 meters. Our Falcon 9 rocket, with the payload fairing attached, is double the size of the Millennium Falcon, standing at 70 meters. And nearly twice the size of that is the fully integrated Starship at 121 meters tall. The
God
ship itself
damn.
is about 50 meters tall, and the Super Heavy booster alone stands about 71 meters. And even crazier, eventually the ship and booster will get even taller with future design iterations.
Can't imagine it being taller than that. Starship's first stage has a
can
diameter
fit one of those
roughly
on your
2
property.
2.5 times that of Falcon
You can get a
9,
full size.
and with 33
That's what
much
she
larger
said.
Raptor engines, which
New
you can
man
see on
cave.
your screen.
This the
Moving
Millennium
up the
Falcon.
vehicle, the ship features 6 Raptors, 3 sea-level engines, and 3 vacuum engines, which are optimized to operate in the vacuum of space.
Yeah, Brett, there you
The
go.
ship
New
is designed
project.
for
Build a
vertical takeoff and
life-size
landing on any
Millennium
hard
Falcon
surface,
in
like
your
the
yard.
surface of the moon. The ship is also outfitted with 4 flaps to help aerodynamically control the vehicle's attitude during atmospheric flight and enable a precision landing.
To reach full reusability, ship must survive entry not just once,
I think if
but
you
over
started
and
building
over
one
again.
life-size
It took the
and
teams
did
at
streamed it,
SpaceX
you know,
about 3 years
put all
to
your build
develop the
process on
shield
YouTube, you'd make
Starship,
enough money to
and
pay
development
for it.
improvements is still ongoing.
I think a lot of
The ship's
people
heat
watch
shield
somebody
is
building a
composed of
life-size
18,000
Millennium
hexagonal
Falcon.
ceramic tiles designed to insulate the vehicle during atmospheric entry, where temperatures can be as high as
This
2,600
is what I should
degrees
be streaming
Fahrenheit.
Kerbal 2 at the
And
same time,
naturally,
trying
the
to take out.
tiles are designed for rapid
I'm so pissed
reuse
off
with
at
no
Kerbal 2
refurbishment
paying full
between
price
flights.
and then have them canceled
As we
before they
mentioned
even get a
earlier, today's
freaking
Starship
product out the
features a
door.
completely
They should make it
reworked
open
heat shield with
source.
stronger tiles and a secondary protective layer. This promises to
They should
increase
release the
our
code
chances
as
of
open
Starship
source
making
and let it
through a
people
controlled
finish it.
re-entry, and hopefully a little more intact this time around. And in between our first and second stages is our hot stage, which we last saw in action on flights 2,
That was
3,
cool.
and
That man
4.
gave, yeah, here, hold
Speaking
my
of,
beer.
let's take a trip back in time and talk about that last flight. On June 6th, Starship successfully lifted off at
You'd have to get good at
7:50
welding
a.m.
because
Central
you have to
Time
have
from
some
Starbase,
hellacious steel
Texas,
frames to hold it
cleared the
up.
launch tower, and went on to accomplish several major milestones and firsts. As you can see there,
Saturn
Super
V,
Heavy
7.6
booster
million
lifted off
pounds,
successfully and completed a full
34.5
duration ascent burn. I love the
million
view of
newtons
the
of
sound
thrust.
waves there.
Yeah, this thing's more powerful
Following
than Saturn
separation,
V.
Super Heavy booster
It's going to be 3
successfully
times more
completed its
powerful.
flip
That's
maneuver,
insane.
boost back burn as well to send it toward the splashdown zone, and it also jettisoned the
You give up on
stage
playing Africa,
adapter,
get Bob off the moon.
as you can see there. We don't have to jettison that
Of course,
adapter
well,
in
tech
future
college.
iterations.
That's sure.
because
Yeah,
it'll
what the
be,
hell? It's your yard.
A different design. Now, as you can see here, the booster is returning back to Earth using those hypersonic grid fins to steer it towards a precise landing in the Gulf of Mexico. The footage that we have coming up here, there it is from the buoy. I still remember seeing this on X for the first time, and it was so incredible to see that booster coming down.
Yeah, it's not going to fly. You just
ending
need enough force to hold
ending
up.
its flight with a soft
three leg-
splashdown, 7
three
minutes
legs?
and
It's got
24
three legs,
seconds
right?
into the flight, and
So
the
you'd have
crowd
3 legs to have to
went
hold up
wild.
the man cave part
And
of it.
so did we. Starship's 6
I gotta
second stage
start my
Raptor
man cave
engine
as soon as I get the
successfully
ceiling up on the
powered
porch.
vehicle
Next
to
project is
space
man
and
cave.
placed it on a trajectory that would re-enter
Move my
less
computers
than
in
1
there.
orbit later over the Indian Ocean. And following a coast phase in space, Starship re-entered the Earth's atmosphere, successfully making it through the phases of peak heating and max aerodynamic pressure, and demonstrating the ability to control the vehicle using its flaps while descending through the atmosphere at hypersonic speeds. And of course, Starlink on Starship once again enabled real-time telemetry and live high-definition
I can't believe
video
that survived
for
that.
every phase of entry,
It was
with
burning
external
through that
cameras
whole thing and it
providing
still
views
worked.
all the way to the flight's conclusion.
Flight 4 ended with Starship, with, again, the crowd going bonkers.
That'd be an awesome
Starship
project.
igniting its 3 center Raptor engines and executing the first flip maneuver and landing burn that we had seen since our high altitude campaign. And that was followed by a soft splashdown of the ship in the Indian Ocean 1 hour and 6 minutes later.
And we were all glued to the monitors watching the little flap that could the whole way down. Seeing the landing burn and splashdown was an incredible moment.
There's
for
quite
the
a bit of
entire
fuel in there
SpaceX
if that's-
team, and we'll be
the
looking
frost
out for
line's up
many
pretty
more
high
of these
already.
incredible moments today.
All right, so while
Look at
today's
the-
mission profile is similar to Flight 4,
look
we
at the-
got a couple new test objectives,
The
including
steam vapor,
catching
or
the
it's not
booster
steam, but
back
the
at the launch
condensation
tower.
vapor all the way across
In
the whole
about
beach.
18 minutes from now, Super Heavy will ignite its 33 Raptor engines and lift off from Starbase. A little more than 2.5 minutes into flight, the Super Heavy booster will separate from the ship in a hot stage separation. After that separation,
Well,
the
a
booster
buddy of
will
mine
perform
rebuilt
a
the
flip
entire
maneuver, followed by a
Sets
boost
from the
back
Star
burn.
Trek TV series.
And about 2 seconds
Like
after that
all
burn
of them,
ends, we'll
all the
jettison
original
booster's
set
hot stage.
pieces,
As it
down
heads
to the
back
last
towards
detail.
The ground, the booster will either
And now he makes a fortune
attempt
with
a
it.
landing,
It
will
cost
have
him a fortune to build
landing
it, but
burn, but then we'll either
they
return
got
to the
Mechazilla
tower or
looking like
splashing
Godzilla.
down in the Gulf of
It's great.
Mexico.
Meanwhile, the ship's engines will remain lit for
But
just under 6
now he's
minutes
turned it
during
into,
its ascent
it's
phase
open to the
before
public.
shutting down
Even
for the
William
coast.
Shatner comes
The
and
ship
gives
will coast
speeches
for
a couple
about
times a
40
year
minutes or
just on
so,
the
reaching a
bridge.
peak altitude of about 213
So you could turn it into a
kilometers.
tourist attraction.
After that coast phase, the ship will be attempting a controlled re-entry, including a flip maneuver and landing burn, like we saw on Flight 4, just before splashing down in the Indian
I know a few
Ocean.
places you can launch
Now
it.
we say attempting because, again, this is just a test and nothing is guaranteed.
Except
Oh, there we
excitement.
go.
Well, of course there is that. Now, both the booster and ship have to contend with some extreme conditions on re-entry, which is where those heat shield tiles will be put to the test.
For this flight test, we do not
Your wife would
expect
hate
to
that.
recover any hardware from the ship. With the exception of Falcon, this is no different than what happens to most rockets flying today that are
Bought
expended,
this property for
meaning
the
that they
price,
fall into the
exactly.
ocean after completing their mission. Eventually, we will return and reuse Super Heavy boosters and Starships as
You
we
wouldn't
do
have
today
privacy
with
because
Falcon 9
if you
and
built a
Falcon Heavy
life-size
boosters. And in
Millennium
fact, we've
Falcon,
landed
people would come
Falcon
anyways.
boosters 352 times to date.
Oh, man, I hear you say that number, and that is just wild. I still remember the night, or at least most of the night, that that Falcon landed for the first time, and it still feels
Yeah,
like
that's what
yesterday.
mine. I can't see my
definitely
neighbors.
one of my favorite moments at SpaceX. And returning Super Heavy promises to be an even more impressive sight and a huge moment on the road to rapid reusability.
Yeah, speaking of rapid reusability, future Starship designs will give Super Heavy boosters a lighter weight and integrated hot stage
You got an
intended for
unwelcoming
full
driveway.
reusability, which will mitigate the need
Yeah,
to
I'm close
jettison
to the
hot
road,
stage like
but
we'll do today.
I'm between the road and the
Similarly,
river.
even though ship recovery is not expected,
But
the
I can't see
telemetry
it in
and
my
data
neighbors
we
'cause
receive all the way to the end is what we're hoping, or excuse me, is what we're looking
They're
for.
all spread
and
out
is
and they
what
can't build
will
where I
get
can see
us
them,
to
so.
a rapidly reusable Starship of the future.
Yeah, exactly. In other words, just like previous Starship flights, the payload for this mission is the data.
That's what one of your
All
wife's
right,
friends just
now
came.
that we have a handle on today's flight test,
We launched
let's
one,
check in with
Grumpy Old
Dan,
Studios
who is
will
right in the
make
middle
sure
of the
you see it.
action. He's just a few kilometers from Starship on the pad. How's it going, Dan?
It's going great, Jesse. Welcome back to Starbase, everybody. It's been far too long. Little change of scenery this time. Right behind me is the Launch Control Center, where our flight controllers are counting down to our liftoff at 7:25 a.m. Central. We are a little bit later in our window. The main reason is
I saw the Eagle from the Space
I've not been tracking
1999.
any technical issues so far.
That's sick. I
launch. So
saw a guy built that.
7:25 a.m. Central, 12:25
I love Space
UTC is where
1999.
we're marching
I'm a big
down
fan of
to.
George Pell.
As you can see,
Work,
we're actively
so.
loading propellants on board Super Heavy and Starship. Liquid methane
Behind me
for
would
your
like it
fuel,
much in
liquid
defense
oxygen
space now.
for the
Probably
oxidizer.
launching anything gonna
Prop
get you
load
a
on
deep
the
shit.
ship started at about T-minus 49 minutes, booster at T-minus 40 minutes. We're going to keep loading propellants on those vehicles right down to the wire. Ship will close out at about 3 minutes and 20 seconds before T0, and then booster just about 30 seconds later. Now,
I still
with
can't believe
our
nobody's
startup
made
sequence,
this
it's gonna look
downloadable
very
option.
similar to what you saw on Flight 4. We already tested it with this booster and its static fire.
We got a few
We're going to see the
private
Raptors
property
start to
signed
make
to
fire
the drive.
about T-minus 3 seconds, and then
Little
we'll start them
blackberries
up
and
in
small
3
shrubs
different
growing up
banks. The
next to the
first
drive.
inner 13 will
Review.
fire, and then about a second later, 15
That's
of
cool.
the outer ring engines, and then about 8/10 of a second after that, those final 5.
Nothing says go away
Another
like picky ass
reminder, if we
blackberries.
need to hold, we have a built-in spot at T-minus 40 seconds. We can hold for stuff like if we need to finish clearing the range or if any other technical
Weathers go,
issues
range
pop
go,
up,
vehicle
just
go.
kind of in the last second. But if there's nothing holding us back, we're going to go right past that and go down to 0. So
I didn't
as
make
of right
breakfast.
now, we're just under 14 minutes away from liftoff, not working any technical
dawned on me.
issues.
I
Range
had
is
my second cup of
expected
coffee,
to
but I haven't
clear.
had
We're
breakfast.
just clearing out a few more boats. And as you can see, the weather is perfect. We had 100% go for launch from the weather officer, so that was pretty unprecedented and something
Clearing
we
out a
really
few
like
more
to hear.
boats. We
If
should
we're
all
not
be
able to go
arrested for being
today,
out there.
since we are loading prop, it would likely
Basically,
be
it says
about
go away
48 hours
without
before
actually
our
having the
next
sign.
attempt. But good thing we're going to launch today. Really looking forward to being able to turn around and see it this time. Counting down to 7:25 a.m. Central, and I'll see you guys in a couple of minutes. I'll send it back to you in Hawthorne.
Thanks, Dan. Now, one of the most exciting objectives for Flight 5 today is attempting to return the booster to the launch site that
That's
you see
gonna be
right there,
sick.
and it will be caught by the tower. We refer to this simply as booster catch.
As you've heard us say, Starship
Simply.
and Super Heavy are designed to be rapidly
Those
reused,
are Mormons
which
for
is
years.
why we've developed a novel way of returning the vehicles that leverages the same hardware we use for stacking ahead of flight.
Right now, when we recover our Falcon boosters, they either return to a separate landing zone on land or to a drone ship in the ocean, both of which require time to transport the vehicle back to the launch site. In order for us to achieve truly rapid reusability,
I
we need a quicker turnaround. And
I stopped
you
doing
can't get
trick-or-treaters
much faster than
back when I had
returning
Cameron,
the
my
launch
dog,
vehicle
because
right back
she would
to
panic
the
and
launch
try to
site
eat
where
them,
it needs to
eat
be
the
in
kids
order to
because
launch
there
it
were
again.
strange creatures at the
For
door.
today's booster
And
catch
she wanted to
attempt,
kill them.
while there are thousands of criteria
So
that
that
need to be
caused
met,
some
there are
issues.
3 primary gates that will be in play. In order to proceed,
And then
automated
Stinky
checks
wasn't
have
real
to
keen on them
indicate we
either,
have a
so I
healthy
just.
booster and
And
a
now
healthy
where I
tower,
live, there's
and
just
the
no
flight
kids go
director
by.
must issue
I
a
live too
manual
far
command,
outside of
which is
town.
informed by manual checks
No
from the
kids.
flight control team. If this command is not sent prior to the completion of the boost back burn, or if automated health checks show unacceptable conditions with Super Heavy or the tower, the booster will default to a trajectory that takes it to a landing burn and soft splashdown in the Gulf of Mexico.
Now, thinking to the future when we're operational, after a
Didn't
booster
see either of
returns to the
them when I
launch
lived in-
tower, it will be inspected and
weird here.
reloaded with propellants and then ready to launch another ship to orbit. For today's test, however, we're only
Maybe from
going
over
to
100
attempt
kids
the
years
catch,
ago.
like Jesse
Yeah,
said,
2 or
if
3 the
everything
last
on the
few years.
booster and tower
This year we're
checks
not
out
handing
after
out.
launch.
That's too bad.
And of course, we will let you know as soon as we know if it's a go. And we're going to
Yeah,
be
kids
listening
around
very
the
keenly for
neighborhood,
that
but
call out.
the houses
Now,
are
as
far
always,
apart.
we accept
Side
no
of the hill.
compromises when it comes to the safety of the public and our team. So to that end, the area all around the
You and your
pad
partner
and the flight
celebrate it every year?
path are cleared well in advance.
Exactly. A lot of things have to go right in order to line up the booster catch. So don't be surprised if we don't attempt the catch today. Either way, today's flight will generate data that will continue to inform our future flights and help us get to that operational cadence.
Yeah. Oh, you can't forget what else it will generate.
Are you thinking what I'm thinking?
Sonic
I mean,
boom.
I was going to say a sonic boom.
Oh, I was going to say excitement, but that's a really good reminder.
Now, if we do make it to a catch attempt today, Super Heavy may generate
I
a
used to
sonic
really
boom
like
upon
Halloween,
its
but then the
return.
dog
And that's basically a
got
brief thunder-like
tweaked
noise
about
that
it,
we
and I
hear
just
when an
kinda
aircraft
got
or
away from it
other
and-
object travels faster than the speed of sound. Anyone that has been in the area for a Falcon 9 land landing in Florida or California, or even some space shuttle landings, may have heard one of these.
Generally, the only impact in those surrounding areas of a sonic boom is the brief noise, with variables like weather and distance impacting if or how the sonic boom is heard. Here's a brief look at how these sonic booms look and sound on Falcon.
I know a lot of people.
Trick or treat
would be
Peter
excited
Heaven, I
to
would
hear
think.
The sonic boom.
Sure, give food products to our
These are
kids.
going to provide quite a show because you're going to hear those sonic booms.
You should dress up your cat as a pumpkin.
That sonic boom is great for us.
We had this old couple that lived on our street when we were growing up as kids for Halloween. Emmy and Ernie. And every kid in town wanted to go to Emmy and Ernie's for Halloween because she had homemade cookies and cider. Every kid had to come in and have a glass of cider and cookies. You took a break at Emmy and Ernie's house. You went in, sat down, and had a cookie and cider. And there used to be a little old German lady lived up the street. She made
As our
homemade
test flights
chocolate
continue, we
every
plan
year.
to demonstrate ship-to-ship propellant transfer, which will be important in preparation for Starship taking astronauts to the moon as part of NASA's Artemis program. SpaceX will perform one uncrewed demonstration flight before NASA's Artemis 3 mission, which will be the first human surface expedition since 1972. Also, in preparation for missions to the moon and Mars, we're gaining tons of knowledge from our human spaceflight missions, including free flyer flights like our recent commercial astronaut.
I can't believe
mission Polaris
NASA
Dawn.
spent, I forget how much
Polaris
money they
Dawn
were
was
just
the
talking
first
about
of up to
this morning.
3
They
missions
said how
in the
much money they
Polaris
spent
program,
on
which is demonstrating
designing a
new
new flagpole
technologies,
for this
conducting
flight.
extensive research,
It's like,
and will
you know, the
culminate
flags
in a
from the
flight of Starship with humans
The
on
original
board.
moon missions
After
are still
nearly
there.
5 days in
Why aren't
orbit,
we just
Dragon
using
and the
those? They were
four-person
made in the
Polaris Dawn
60s.
crew safely splashed down on September 15th.
Spend all this
off the
money
coast
on
of
new
Florida,
flagpoles.
completing the first human spaceflight mission of the Polaris program. The Polaris Dawn crew performed some incredible firsts during their mission. Dragon and the crew reached 1,408.1 kilometers, the highest Earth orbit ever flown, and the farthest humans have been from our planet since the Apollo program.
The crew also performed the first ever commercial EVA, or extravehicular activity. And as you can see there, they were wearing the new EVA suits that we developed here in-house. This was an incredible moment to see Jared and then later Sarah emerge and perform.
I thought they were going to float out away from it, but they never let go of the bar.
In addition to this incredible spacewalk, they also conducted about 36 research studies and experiments from 31 partner institutions, including NASA.
I guess it makes sense.
In addition to all of that, they also tested Starlink laser-based communications in space.
Somebody inside
the data gathered from Polaris Dawn missions is invaluable, much like the data that we're going to see after today's flight test of Starship. So we're coming down to T-minus about 7 minutes. Let's check in with Dan.
Hey, thanks, Kate. So yeah, we're right at about 7 minutes away from launch. The main thing we are still working is that range clear. Again, we have to make sure boats, airspace, everything is cleared out of the way for our ascent corridor, basically the Gulf of Mexico, where we're launching through before we can actually launch. And so we're working on clearing out just a few more boats. We do have a window, remember. So if
the fuck people go out there in boats, they know you're not supposed to be out there.
Seconds, we can hold
they
for
should
7
charge
minutes, allow those boats to get out of the way, and then we can launch.
They should
Our
charge them
window
at the cost
from
of moving the
7
boat.
to 7:30 Central, so we
delaying
don't
it.
have a huge amount of time today, but we do have some margin if we need to work with it to still get off the ground today. For now, though, we're coming up on finishing prop load on both vehicles. Header tanks are pretty much topped out on the ship. Those are going to be used for its landing burn. And again, we're going to be closing out all of the prop load at about T-minus 3 minutes, 20 seconds for the ship, and then just 30 seconds later for booster. One kind of cool thing to talk about, so the folks in launch control behind me,
that's pretty cool.
After liftoff, they're going to have some pretty special tasks today. If we're going to go through with the catch, they're going to be doing some really detailed inspections, just visually of all of the different tower systems, a lot of those things that we upgraded, just to make sure that we are in the right posture to actually proceed with the catch. So they'll be working kind of fast and furious behind the scenes to inform the flight director's manual command to send the booster back. So if we hear that command being sent, that's going to be just the roof's going to come off. That's going to be a really exciting moment. So otherwise, if we don't go today, as you guys talked about, there is a chance, and if we don't send the booster back, we'll do a landing burn and a splashdown in the Gulf. And then that's just another landing burn to gather more data, learn more lessons from, and then we'll come back and try to catch again on the next one. But as of right now, we're coming up on 5 minutes. There is a chance that we'll hold or extend into the end of our window, so don't be surprised if that ends up happening. But if those boats do get out of the way, we are just about 5 minutes away from launch.
Boats.
So,
idiots trying to get a picture.
In just a moment, but back over to you, Kate and Jesse.
Thanks, Dan. Our rapid iterative development approach has been the basis for all of SpaceX's major innovative advancements, including Falcon, Dragon, and Starlink. Today, we're testing hardware and systems, and we need to know how they perform under the most extreme conditions. We'd much rather find the bugs now during testing than later on when there's more on the line. And to reiterate, we do not,
I don't know, 10% that is perfect.
An acceptable level of technical risk on our vehicle and pad in order to learn as fast as possible.
It's a test flight.
No compromises when it comes to the safety of the public or our team. So that is to say, this is only the 5th of many future flight tests of Starship before it becomes fully operational.
You might remember the Starlink panels that are incorporated into Starship, and you can see them there on your screen, those rectangular panels on Starship's nose cone. Starlink brings us the epic views in space
little heat
and
shield
on
tiles
re-entry.
over their Starlinks.
It also helps deliver us the critical flight data engineers need to continue development. In addition to enabling our rapid iteration on Starship,
I wonder how many
Starlink
channels
is
of
also
data they're
enabling
getting off of
life-saving
that thing.
communication here on Earth. SpaceX is sending tens of thousands of Starlink kits in response to Hurricanes Helene and Milton, and providing free service through the end of the year.
Starlink, I wonder how many channels of data they're getting
down. The Starlink
down.
team also worked with T-Mobile to activate our direct-to-cell satellites to provide basic texting on T-Mobile and emergency alerts for all phones and carriers of those in affected areas. If a phone connects to a Starlink satellite, it will have 1 to 2 bars of signal and show T-Mobile SpaceX in the network name. SpaceX's direct-to-cell constellation has not been fully deployed, so these services are being delivered on a best effort basis.
Starlink is enabling life-saving communication here on Earth and continues to
Over
help
40
us push the
teraflops.
limits in space. In the short term, by providing great views and real-time data
Oh,
on our next
must be
few
full.
flights,
They're venting it off.
particularly through re-entry,
Clearing
which
the lines.
historically is a blackout period for all communications.
All right, so we're coming up on 2 minutes 30 seconds away from launch. We were hearing like there's a pretty good chance we were going to hold at T minus 40 seconds, but surprise, now it sounds like we might not be. So we are just a little over 2 minutes away. So
Oh boy.
a couple more things going to be happening. We did just close out.
Gonna watch in bed and lurk. Lay here. Have a good night, guys.
So
Have a good night,
10
Wes.
million pounds of propellant on that vehicle on the pad here at Starbase, getting ready to go. We're going to start clearing out all of the lines that are basically pushing all of that propellant to the vehicles. Those get cleaned out or cleared out on the ground before we lift off. We're doing some final checks on the vehicle, the thrust vector control that we're going to use to steer it, as well as the guidance system doing
They got
its
some
final
good
alignment,
low light
just
cameras.
a lot of our final checkouts. But we are starting to hear that it looks like the range is going to be clear at our liftoff time.
Oh boy.
7:25 a.m. Central, 12:25
Range is clear.
UTC. So that puts us 1 minute 20 seconds
Look at that
away
shot.
from launch. Still not tracking.
Wonder how thick
any
that
technical
glass is and
issues.
stuff
That
that
range clear is
take
the
little
only
cameras
thing
in
that's been
that little cubby hole to
potentially
survive.
working at our launch.
Or if it survives, it may
So
just destroy it.
I'm
Who
going to
knows?
start to quiet down. We'll hear our flight director for today, Tristan Pierce, give some of the final call outs. As of right now, we are 1 minute away from liftoff.
Here we go. My parents took me to see a shuttle launch when I was a
Flight
kid.
directors go for launch.
Yeah. Oh, go for launch. Here we go. Didn't hold it 40 seconds. Oh
Best
boy.
words you could possibly hear, 20 seconds away from liftoff.
Yeah, I saw a shuttle launch when I was a kid too. Pretty cool. I've seen SpaceX launch. Saw Mars lander launch back in the day.
T minus 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
There she goes. That's bonkers how that lifts off. There's no hold down. It's too heavy to launch. Look at that thing go. Damn.
Vehicles pitching downrange.
It's actually too heavy to launch when it first starts, so that it lights all the engines and burns until it has enough power to lift off. Until it burns off enough fuel to lift off. Bonkers. Who bling? Who bling? Dan Morgan, thank you, sir. Thank you for your subscription.
30 seconds into the flight, the rumble's just starting to reach us here at launch control.
Look at this bird go. Holy shit.
Booster ship,
That
avionics
is the
power,
sound
telemetry
of
nominal.
33 Raptor engines.
All engines are lit. Look at that. Ah, man.
Max Q.
Now pass through the maximum aerodynamic pressure, the most stress the vehicle's going to see on the way uphill.
Look at that thing. Oh my god. The fact that it can fly, it's a skyscraper that's flying.
All right, our next major milestone coming up, it's going to be hot staging. We're going to see the engines ignite on ship to push it away from the booster.
Oh, damn. I just want to hear the go for catch. That's what I want to hear.
All right, so hot staging is going to be the next thing coming up. First, we're going to see the booster's engines start to shut down.
What a shot, huh?
All but 3.
Damn.
We're going to do what's called most engines cut off instead of main engine cut off, because 3 are going to keep going, and then we're going to see the engines on ship ignite.
Takes off like a rocket.
Right now, the tower team is doing their go, no go.
Give me a go on the tower. Come on, guys.
And we might hear some really good words soon, too. All right. Can still see it up behind me. That is one of the most gorgeous things I've ever seen in my entire life. Coming up on hot staging next.
Ship engine
There's
startup.
most engines cut off.
Stage separation. Booster
Stage separation.
Booster's lit.
Stage separation confirmed.
Oh, come on.
Ship under its own power. I'm seeing 6 out of 6 Raptors lit. Hopefully I got a booster on the way back to me. I'm going to send it to you guys in Hawthorne.
Oh man, that was absolutely incredible.
Look at
I
the
loved how
views.
Chamber pressure is nominal.
The crowd here in Hawthorne all went ooh at that first view of the blue flames from the booster. As you can see there, first stage currently performing, or excuse me, is now making its way back to the launch site. Again, we are.
Ship avionics power and telemetry nominal.
The booster and the tower are both performing automated checks to make sure we are go for the booster to return to the launch pad for that catch. And once those are complete, the flight director.
Boost back burn, shutdown.
Flight director is go for booster return.
Come on.
And we did hear that the tower is go for catch. So
Go for catch?
that was one of the big criteria
The
we're
tower's
looking
ready.
for.
Oh shit, this could get good.
We'll wait to hear that the go for catch has been sent.
Come on.
Beautiful view here from the ship.
And so exciting to hear that we got a go for booster catch. That means it's going to be a really exciting morning. Again, the booster is making its way back
I didn't hear the go for
towards,
catch.
now land in order to make that catch attempt in the tower.
So incredible to see these views. You can see the ship on the right-hand side of your screen. All 6 Raptor engines are under full power. Once again, the booster is making its way back to the launch site. We are going to try and catch it using the chopsticks on the launch tower.
Bonkers.
The exact same tower that it just launched from. Just, wow,
Is that
5
the
minutes
hot
ago.
stage ring?
Yeah, and the
What is
booster.
that?
Starship on nominal
Guys,
trajectory.
I can confirm the command was sent for the booster to come back.
Yes.
That is incredible.
Command was set to go to launch site.
It's pretty much right overhead of us, and we can see it starting to come down.
Oh man.
I can't wait for us to hear the sonic boom through Dan's mic.
Right.
That's got to be the hot stage ring.
It was so cool to hear the liftoff. And so once again, a successful on-time liftoff of Starship Flight 5. The ship.
Yeah, I know. There's almost like no fuel
has
left.
Separated from the booster. The booster
Whoever
is there
thought those
on your
days
screen.
were
It is
playing
making its way
Pong and
back
Pac-Man that we'd
to
be
the
watching
launch
this.
site.
No
We are
shit,
going
right?
to attempt the catch using the chopsticks. We did hear the confirmation that the command was sent to the tower.
Oh my God.
We are
My hands are
for
sweaty.
catch.
I'm nervous. Why am I nervous? I don't have any skin in this
Guys,
game.
we should just be about
It's right back in its own
seconds away
plume from going up. So it's got to be close.
It's going to happen in 3 phases.
Yeah, right through its own cloud. It's fucking awesome. Oh my God.
You can see it coming down through the plume.
It came through its own plume.
Booster
That's
catch
sick.
is hot.
So you know it's
Booster
close.
catch.
We're going to ignite 13 of those Raptor engines, and this view is incredible right now.
Look at how red they are from re-entry. Man.
You can see how fast this vehicle is moving on the left hand.
She lit. All engines lit. Every single one of them.
Ignited.
Down to 3.
Down to 3 Raptor engines.
Oh my fucking God. This looks fake. No way. No way. No fucking way.
Booster running burn,
Holy shit, they did it! Oh my God. They fucking did it. Holy shit. I'll be a son of a bitch. That's fucking insane. Yeah, I'm all goosebumps too. It's like, holy shit. They did it. Oh my God. First fucking try and they did it. Holy shit.
You, but we're losing our stuff up here.
Guys, I'm sorry. Like, even at this day and age, what we just saw, that looks like magic.
They got to put that fire out somehow, but holy shit. Look at that. Oh my fucking God.
We are still going wild over here over this.
Folks, this is a day for the engineering history books.
Eat that, Neil deGrasse Tyson, who said it was impossible.
Of the Super Heavy booster, as it has just
That's
been
the future.
successfully
If they can
called
reuse
back at
both
the
of
very
these
same launch
things,
tower that it just came from.
space flight gets so cheap, it's insane.
You are reflecting exactly what everybody else here in Hawthorne, except maybe a little bit more because you got to see it with your own eyes.
How was that?
We got it. I mean, like,
Main engine cutoffs on the, or second stage engine cutoff.
I can't even describe that. Oh, by the way, ship, main engine cutoff, ship's in orbit, but I am
Small fire on the
like
side.
shaking right now. That was.
Holy shit.
This is not,
Yeah,
I mean,
let's check in on ship.
it's hard to believe that.
Starship nominal orbit insertion.
All right, exciting news
Nice.
there. It's hard to believe that, you know,
Oh
booster
my
isn't the
fucking
only
God, I
excitement
can't
that
believe
we
they
have
caught
today.
it.
Just
And it looked so
confirmation there.
gentle. It looked
Gorgeous
just
view of
like,
planet Earth behind
it looked
the
fake.
ship.
At one point there,
And
it just
is
looked
now
fake.
in the orbit that we expected it to. This is just an incredible day. Live views there.
They're venting off all the
As
gas.
booster vents, some pressures there. That is a live view from the top of the tower looking at the chopsticks.
I am still in disbelief. I'm trying to catch
We
my
still got
tears,
almost an
just
hour
like
before this
the
thing comes down.
chopsticks caught the booster. It has been non-stop.
Because that's still another big thing is for that thing to come down.
And we are all so excited about everything that's been happening so far this morning. With the booster having completed its job for today,
I can't believe
we
they
are
caught it.
going
And it
to
looks
take
like
a
it's dead
short
center
break for
between the
next
beams.
30
I mean,
minutes. We'll
front to
return
back.
back at T plus 40 minutes while the ship continues.
It looks like it
to
landed
close
dead
before
center from
re-entry.
here to here.
Oh man, and as with previous flights,
And that's
Starlink
crazy.
may actually enable us to talk with the ship
Now,
through
that
re-entry
one's
with
going to
no
go into the
communication
ocean.
Blackout. We of course are still testing Starlink during this.
You
phase
see
of
shit
flight,
falling
so
off
nothing
it
is
that's
certain.
burning.
But if we do have views, we'll be sure to bring those to you live.
They're burning stuff.
Views or no views, we'll see you back here at T plus 40 minutes for coverage of Starship's re-entry, flip maneuver, landing burn,
Hey,
and
Mighty.
splashdown.
Another year landing, total butter, yeah. Good shit. So we got about 40 minutes before it comes down. We'll keep see if they show any good, cool views like this for a while, but I can't believe that worked. I can't believe they're not showing replays. Well, we can show it. Can we do replay? Sean and I are watching you on the big screen. Well, thank you. That's cool. Oh, look at that view. Hey, Gammy, there's your island. No, that's the Atlantic. You'll be snoozing by then.
Yeah, let's check in on ship.
Go back. There we go.
The command was sent to the tower. We are go for catch.
You can't believe it's so accurate. It flew through its own up boom.
30 seconds away from our landing burn. It's going to happen in 3 phases. We're going to land at 13 engines, burn off all of that velocity. Oh, we can see it coming down through the plume.
They'll have to do a better job of shielding that one spot that caught fire.
For booster catch.
We're going to ignite 13 of those Raptor engines, and this view is incredible right now. You can see
That one
how
view, it
fast
looks
this
totally
vehicle
fake.
is moving on the left-hand screen.
Landing burn has been ignited. We're now down to 3 Raptor engines.
Right there, it looks
You
fake.
can see those chopsticks now in the air.
Look at how gently that set down. Damn. Bonkers. That was so gentle.
We're now down to 3 Raptor.
I gotta see it again because I can't get over how gentle it gets right here. It just like hovers perfectly still. It's a fucking skyscraper hovering perfectly still. Right there. It just. It's bonkers. It's on X, Brett. It's on. It's SpaceX's stream on X. So I don't have it. Maybe I can get the link on this one. Hold on. See if I can get the link for you. I'll get to the direct link here. Oh, I cut the sound off. Don't need double the sound. Oh, wow. Yeah. One of those. Thanks, Cammy. Holy shit. The mouse over there. Look at those views. Nope. Some frost or something floating away. They definitely got a better view of that flap in case it hooks through this time. Oh my god. I can't believe it landed. Look at the view on the left of that thing. Still smoking. Of course, it just re-entered. That's insane. Now what they're going to be able to do is set that damn thing down. And then switch the things over and catch another Starship. And technically put them all back together and launch again within hours. Watch Mrs. TPHI buzz the rocket. What a feast. Taking the Playboy Tomcat to the moon. Man, the views. Wow, just wow. That was. Guess I was off with my 10%. Shit. They were saying the other day how much that saves weight-wise for the rocket because they don't have to have any landing gear. Here's the thing, this is the first time they're going to have all the Raptor engines intact after a flight so they can see what's what. They brought the ones up from the ocean, but they'd already been gone through salt water and impact with the ocean. Now they have all 35 Raptor engines that they can look at and see what shape they're in. Tomcat maxes out at 55,000 feet. Oh, that's the last of that coffee. Ugh. It's water time. Not rude, Mr. TPHI flying. I couldn't get over how little fuel it takes to land, how much it takes to go up. Like 95, 6, 7% of the rocket is fuel is just to go up. A little tiny bit to go down. Only 1 or 2%. I also think it's wild. It's got the little static wires like airplanes have on the wings. Discharge the static build up. Of course, this thing's going to land off the coast of Australia, so it'll be nighttime. So we see some really cool plasma effects. Fisheye lens makes the flat Earth look really round, doesn't it? No, it's quite a ways off the coast of Australia. I don't think anybody will be able to see it in Australia. Then you'd have to be in Western Australia. And still, it's a long ways off. The world is flat. I said the fisheye lens is making it look round. Oh my god. I also think this thing's probably doing all sorts of internal testing too right now while it's flying along. They're venting. Filmed in a studio in Burbank. Tall building. Fucking insane. They didn't lose a single engine this time. Every one of them lit and relit. Not a single lost engine. Other than that piece that caught fire, everything else is good. Man, I still flabbergasted that they caught it. See, the whole thing's all burnt down. Yeah. More cameras in PD's house. Ugh. Was filmed in Area 51. There you go. It'd be neat to see all their camera views of it going up and down, because they have internal cameras, external cameras, all filming. Like inside the tanks, filming the slosh of the fuel. They got cameras everywhere. But they were saying they don't hold it down. It's too heavy to fly. It's right on the edge of being too heavy to fly, and that's the engine's throttle up and burns enough fuel so it can fly. It's fucking crazy to think they do that. That's how they designed it. So there's no clamps holding it down. just its own weight. Man, oh man. And they got their launch license was for Flight 5 and Flight 6. So they've got the equipment ready. They can launch the other one in weeks. Flight 6 can be in just a week. Well, it could be as early as a week, but probably more like 2 or 3 weeks. Flight 6 will launch. Because as soon as they got the other tower ready, I know they're going to wait till they have 2 towers ready, but they're going to launch. They're going to try to catch this one next. Yeah, there's ice coming off all over. Yeah, NASA overstepped the FAA. Flying the air to because your autopilot disconnects every so often. I haven't flown the ATR in ages. There's just a giant update to it too, so it probably broke everything. That seems to be how updates work. Hey, look, we fixed everything. And we broke a whole bunch of new shit. Funny, I have the ATR, I just never fly it. You see the ice building up around that vent too, right there. There's a little vent. I'm just practicing in it so the next time you're in it, I can use it. Well, you mean Brett. The autopilot keeps disconnecting very often. At least the beefs will warn me. Little pieces of ice and stuff. Dirty ice. There it goes. So it's the sun's hitting, it's finally warming up enough for some of the ice to melt off. That's a cool picture of the ice. At least we got views this whole time. Yeah, I probably just opened the door and jumped out the plane. Those ice sharks don't hit Microsoft Bing Maps satellites. No more 2024. Guess we'll find out in a couple weeks how good 2024 is officially. Now there's a couple people that actually have betas now. I'm getting hungry. Hurry up and land this thing. Trying to guess which end you're looking at, but those flaps are straight up. I think that's the back of the engines. Now I can't wait to go watch like Tim Dodd's video of it landing, NASA Spaceflight's video of it landing. Now there's so many really good high def cameras that they'll all be putting out 4K views of it landing. I can't wait to go check those out later today. So you know, TPH, I moved on to the A320 for the ATL2 now. Longer flights and more experience. Hope I can always jump back into ATR. There you go. I should have shown you the career path thing on the 2024. I should have went in and showed you the path progression. You start as a regular pilot, then you can do more fixed wing or rotor wing. You can go commercial pilot, license, rotary wing, and then you can specialize cargo, big jets, private jets, each branch. It's all branched. And same with that rotor, you can do firefighting, all kinds of cool stuff. Each branch. Got all kinds of. I think the gaming aspect of it is going to be the real selling point for it. And the world's going to look better, but the gaming aspect is going to be a better. Than what we have now. It's going to bring a lot more people, I think. More of the gamers will come play, and less of the sinners. Doing 26,000 kilometers an hour. 199 kilometers in altitude. Oh, I hope I don't take a hit on this music. Probably will. Probably get all kinds of copyright claims on the music. That's right, we'll just let the AI spend hours scrubbing the music out. No snow up here. Not yet. It's getting cold, but no snow yet. I think you got snow up in the mountains. Nah, I don't care. I don't want to miss him saying anything. Hey, it hasn't burned down yet. I think there's still smoke rolling off it a bit. Of course, it did just come down from space. There could be insulation burning off wires inside, but everything. Look at that. That's bonkers to think that went to space and back. You had a little there? Really? Wow. No, we have nothing here. Just rewind it a bit. But let's go back about 30 minutes. Go back about 30 minutes. You can watch it. Just rewind the stream 33 and a half minutes. You'll see everything. How you doing, TerraSpace? It's almost midnight. This better speed up. Yeah, you got about 10 minutes. There's 7 minutes. And this is special stream. Watch live. It was wild. It was wild if they landed it. Maddie's doing something. I don't know what the heck she's doing. She was jumping up and down, attacking her food, and I looked at her. She sat down like, I'm doing nothing. 7 minutes, 40 minute up and out and around. I'm going to start re-entering in about 7 minutes. No, 90 minutes is a full orbit. 45 minutes for half orbit, and it's only doing half the orbit. 90 minutes would be a full orbit, and it's only going halfway around. They're not going to try to catch this one. They're going to land this one in the water off the coast of Australia. Quite a ways off the coast of Australia. I think as soon as the other tower is ready, they're going to try to catch both. You're not dumb, you just didn't know. No worries. Still see they don't let the drone get too close yet. Uh-oh, flaps moving. We got movement. They're getting ready. Getting in position. Look at all the ice. Come off. Oh. They're moving the flaps, getting ready to hit the atmosphere. Looks like a few tiles came up missing. Right there in the screen, looks like a couple. Mach 25, Mach 21. The camera's probably a little tiny GoPro that has taken the housing off so it doesn't weigh anything. Looks like they lost a few tiles right in that spot. They got that underlying stuff on it, so we'll see. And the Starship's starting to tip. They're getting ready to position it for re-entry. Oh, there's plasma. There's plasma. I can see a little pink right there. Maybe that's plasma. Looks like. No, maybe not. What's the altitude? No, that's not plasma. Nearly as fast as Stu. Mach 21. Whew. The pink is you? Yeah, that might be the Aurora. Your altitude's still pretty high for much atmospheric interference. You're still quite a ways up, but it might be plasma coming off. Or it might be the northern lights, southern lights are in Australia. I don't know if we're having much of a magnetic storm today. How are we doing on speed? 130.63. It's coming. The altitude is 163. Speed is accelerating. It's falling back down. It's accelerating. Powered by Starlink. That's a good ad. Warp 99.99 is your speed. Oh, look at that view. Yeah, that is looking back at the tail. It must be Africa. They're going over. Amazing. Come on, Rocket. I'm getting hungry. Speed it up. This is Kerbal. You can accelerate time. Oh, the reflection off the clouds on the tank is pretty cool.
Welcome back to Starship's 5th flight test. It has been
Hey!
an exciting day.
Drop a good in there.
Far. Even the crowd here is still so excited. We lifted off from Starbase at 7:25 a.m. Central Time. The Super Heavy booster and ship had a success.
I'm good, yeah, I'm feeling alright. Baby, I'ma have the best fucking night of my life.
Super Heavy booster then
Thanks so much,
completed the
Brett.
landing burn with 13 Raptor engines igniting and slowing down the vehicle perfectly for Mechazilla to catch the Super Heavy booster for the first ever land recovery.
Oh, I'm going to buy me one of those shirts. Yeah, I'll definitely have one of those shirts.
We still have in about 48 minutes. The ship
out.
will re-enter. Oh, the flap, all the flaps that will today, not that could. The ship will re-enter the Earth's atmosphere. Now, as a reminder, one of the main goals of today's test flight is for the ship to make it through the extreme heat of re-entry and to do so in a controlled
There's
manner.
the coast.
We learned a lot about this phase during Flight 4 and, as a result, completely reworked the heat shield, but more on all that in just a minute. Now, re-entry is typically a portion of flight where we don't have communications with the spacecraft because re-entering, it'll be re-entering at about 8 kilometers per second, or about 5 miles per second of roughly orbital velocity. Now, those speeds, the spacecraft moving through the atmosphere results in friction and creates a plasma field around the vehicle. We saw this in action on Flight 4 thanks to Starlink, and wow, it was breathtaking. The blanket of plasma ends up distorting communication frequencies, so it's not uncommon to experience brief blackouts in communication, but hopefully that's not the case today.
And Kate, that's where Starlink has just kind of been just the unsung hero and the MVP of this test campaign. I mean, it's able to give us data, not just awesome video,
Bing
but
Map,
also
stop
data
loading.
in real time as we're going through reentry. I mean, this is something that throughout the history of spaceflight just hasn't been possible.
Well, at least we don't have the DLSS ripples.
That is so unforgiving, so hard to model, so hard to understand, and for the first time ever, we're able to literally watch as it unfolds in real time, get that data in real time, and we're able to do that with Starlink, and it's great for us because we get to see something.
Your cloud stopped.
To see the greatest light show on the planet or off the planet, but what it means for this program, we're able to learn tremendous amounts about our heat shield, our angle of attack, everything that we're doing as we're coming in through the atmosphere at hypersonic speeds, and it's you can't just thank it enough. And also special shout out, you're going to see some additional flat camera views. We've got a really amazing team of avionics, cameras, electronics, software people who made all that possible. And so
all those people down there in that little thing have no idea this is going over their head right now.
We're coming in at about 5 times the speed of sound.
Yeah, those flaps, Dan, that you see there, that's what's helping.
Starship is in a good attitude for entry, approaching the entry interface.
Approaching the entry phase.
And some good call-outs there, preparing for re-entry for Starship. And again, that's what Dan was mentioning, those flaps on the vehicle. And if you've been watching us for the last few minutes, you could see that the flaps were rotating around and helping orient the vehicle as it prepares for the beginning of re-entry today.
Yeah, exactly. Re-entry will be enabled by that heat shield that you see on the bottom half. That heat shield is made up of 18,000 hexagonal
if you look, the speed on it's going up right now.
And they are designed to insulate the vehicle during atmospheric entry. At that point in time, temperatures can be as high as 26,000 degrees Fahrenheit or about 1,400 degrees Celsius. The design itself also permits for rapid reuse with no refurbishment between the flights. And fun fact that I think is just incredible in terms of scale, but the heat shield alone on the ship has a total mass of 10.5 tons, which is crazy because these things are really lightweight. They're made out of ceramic. We have a couple of them here. The one that I'm holding is used on flat surfaces as, let's see if we go that way, because as it's flat, the one that Jesse has is kind of more what you see there on the side.
Yeah, exactly. And having these different shapes, the flat version and the curved version, allow us to cover a lot more of the surface area of the vehicle. Again, we need to protect every portion of it. So even those curved
you can buy those online because people from the one that
if you watch Flight 4,
crashed in the Gulf and then the one that crashed out, or the last one landed off the coast of Australia, those piles float and they've made it to shore and people are selling them.
18,000 of them together, they add up to
take restrainable plates and put them. Oh, look at that! There we're getting plasma.
We did mention earlier that the heat shield has been completely reworked.
Entered the atmosphere, remains on a nominal entry trajectory.
We can start to see
plasma
now starting to build up on the side. It's not quite
put ceramic dishes on the car.
We are
protect your re-entry speeds.
Color indicate that the heat is building up on the heat shield.
Yeah, this is such a cool sight to see because you really never really have gotten to see this live before Flight 4. Yeah, and as Kate mentioned, it's getting a little more red, as you can see there on the screen. That means that heat is building up, but that's exactly what these
still going up
tiles are there for, is to protect against this plasma and this really, really extreme heat that the vehicle is going to see for about the next 10 more minutes or so.
Look at that.
Yeah, so the ship will attempt to light the 3 Center Raptor engines, and those are the engines that can gimbal or maneuver or point, and they do that to help flip the ship until the engines point down so that it can land using the Raptor's thrust in the ocean. So that will happen after we get through this re-entry period.
Look at that. Look at
And
how
then
hot
starting
that's
to
getting.
see- We also might start to see the flaps
Now the speed's
actuate
coming
a little
down
bit here,
finally.
as the vehicle controls its role during re-entry. That was one of the main learning points from Flight 3.
This one's pretty
was
tall. I
the
don't
roll
know if it's
control,
not quite as tall as
didn't
the
work quite
booster,
as
but
well as we
almost.
wanted it to. We learned that we needed some redundancies, so we added more roll control thrusters, and we'll see those in action as well today, as that was a Flight 3 learning that worked better on Flight 4 and still enabling that same design today.
Yeah.
Starship has passed through 85 kilometers altitude. Flaps now have control of the vehicle.
Great call out, as Kate mentioned, the flaps are controlling the attitude of the vehicle. And I love these views because it looks so calm. Everything is relative, right? So relative to this camera on the ship, it looks so calm and smooth, but the vehicle is traveling extremely fast. You can see the
Slowing
speed
down
on the
quick
bottom
now.
right-hand
Now
corner
it's
of
starting
your
to slow
screen.
down.
Starship is designed to land on Mars where there are no runways or other humans to help out. So we also
Marshmallows.
want rapid reusability. So we're doing propulsive
That'd cook a
landing
marshmallow
instead of
quick,
a more
wouldn't it?
traditional means like parachutes. And so we will use the engines on
And it's burnt.
this vehicle to help slow the vehicle down for a vertical landing.
Yeah. Now, entry is going to basically happen in 5 phases. The first is low drag, that lasts for about 3 minutes. Next is high heating, and beginning when heating increases above the heat rate breakup limit.
Metal
that
stick.
lasts for about 10 minutes. We then have high dynamic pressure. Starship will continue to slow down and experience increased aerodynamic loads during that phase. And that will happen before reaching Mach 1, about a minute after.
Starship is approaching the peak heating phase of entry, remains on a nominal trajectory.
Okay, so that was phase 2 that he just called out, that I was mentioning.
Little
After
pieces
peak
falling off.
heating is that dynamic pressure around Mach 1, and that will last
Don't
about
mention my
a
arm.
minute after leaving the hypersonic area, and then we go into subsonic.
I don't know.
And then,
It's
of course,
fucking hot.
landing burn. Wow, what an incredible view.
Burning off little pieces.
The colors are so amazing, and the colors actually also tell you a little bit about the temperature that the vehicle is seeing as well. So I think that's pretty cool that we get this amazing live visual.
Speaking of live visual, the flap, we have more views, more cameras on board Starship, as Dan mentioned a few
3.4
minutes
million
ago.
views, crazy.
We are hoping that
And that's
all
not
4
everybody
flaps
that's watching
will stay
on
more intact
Past
than
the
they
Space
did
Flight,
last
Tim
time.
Dodd,
We did
and
make
all
some changes
those.
to the design in order to help
So-
enable this.
Starship is now experiencing peak heating, remains on a nominal entry trajectory.
With vaporized marshmallows.
Great news there.
Yeah, 'cause how many
that
Tim Dodd
Starship
got
is
like
continuing
that?
along the path that we intended it to fly. You can keep track with how fast it's going and how high it is above Earth
15.
using the display that is there on the bottom right-hand side of your
Pretty
screen.
freaking wild. This shit.
And guys, this is where we're really going to see a lot of those improvements from Flight 4 really come into action. Is you guys kind of talked about, so it's called the static arrow. Those are kind of the poke out points on the flaps. Those get exposed to some pretty extreme heat environments, and so we added some additional.
So burn through that little tile.
Robust for the thermal protection there, and we learned
15
not
nerds
just
in the
with
chat.
visuals and stuff like that. We had those missing tile tests on Flight 4 where we intentionally left some out, kept in some backup layers. They're called ablatives, which means they just gradually melt away to help dissipate the heat. And we've got an entire layer of ablative underneath the tiles on this Starship today. So even if you get a gap in a tile or a tile is broken, anything like that, we've got backup options. And what we're really trying to do today is do an on-target landing. As we lost the flaps, you lose a lot of your control, and so we didn't land right on target last flight. This time we're trying to really nail the target within just tens of meters, and that'll just be a really huge step on feeling like we're closer to
Hey,
bringing a ship back.
Watching, did you watch
obviously, there's a lot of work
new
before we get there, but
Wolverine movie? Yeah.
we just caught a booster.
You were going to watch
We're
it the other
gonna
day.
start looking real soon at when we can
Did
catch
you watch
a
it?
ship.
Is it any good?
So the view on your left is as a helicopter passes by Dan, bound at Starbase. The view on your left is a camera that's positioned near the nose of the ship,
Okay.
looking
Deadpool, yeah.
basically
Deadpool
down
movie.
toward the flap. The view on the right is looking perpendicular to the flap. So we're looking basically bird's eye view onto the flap on the left-hand side, and then a worm's eye view from the side with that view on the right.
I used to say, fuck off. Now I say, that's nice.
He might be coming back, so.
Now, these views
that
brought to us by Starlink.
flaps look like it's
incredible
shaking a
that
little
we have
bit.
This high-definition capability. In fact, that view on the left.
Starship is now halfway through the peak heating phase of entry, remains on a good trajectory.
So great news there, hearing that we're about halfway through the peak heating phase, like I said. Minutes. And we did hear earlier that the flaps have control of the vehicle, so also good news there.
Yeah, the last one burnt right through the flap.
We've basically had
It still worked.
the entire time.
Right. Yeah. Thanks to Starlink.
My memory did black out a little bit after booster catch, so I think we had views. But all through the coast phase, we had some beautiful views of planet Earth.
Beetlejuice is the name of the second one. Single Beetlejuice is the original.
And I also do want to point out on your right-hand screen, we've got a more encompassed view of the flap. As we watched in Flight 4, the hinge area was the area where we got a little bit of that burn through. This view, this new camera view on the ship will help us be able to visually see more of what's happening in that area. And again, we have improved our heating tiles, and so hopefully we've protected the hinge a lot better this time.
Chill has started.
But again, these views are additional to the data that we get on these flight tests that help enable us kind of put the data that we get in the computer to the visuals that we see and try and align those and use that for improvements in the future.
Now, we heard a call out there saying that engine chill has begun. This is an indication that we are starting to flow a little bit of the super cold liquid oxygen through.
It's on streaming in like a couple of weeks. Spaceballs too. I'm looking forward to. Yeah.
To help ensure that the hardware is at the right temperature before we give a.
Wonder what they call the third one. I don't know.
Of propellant at engine startup. So all of that to say, we are getting closer to the landing burn.
We definitely are. And again, if you look at the bottom right hand of your screen, you can see the altitude that the ship is, and it has been slowly making its way closer and closer to Earth. We're currently at about 63 kilometers from planet Earth, and you'll see that number
his name 3
lower
times.
and lower as we get closer and continue through this reentry.
Yeah, this is going to go on for a little, actually a while longer. We have about 10 minutes
20,000
or so,
kilometers
roughly, before we
It'll
execute the landing, the ignition for the landing burn, starting with the landing flip. So we're making a controlled reentry. This is one of the primary objectives for Starship today, is to demonstrate another controlled reentry, even more controlled than what we saw on Flight 4. And so far, that is looking good.
Bigger dinks have murdered into full-blown dicks.
And then as we start to really get lower, we're going to start seeing the atmosphere's effects start to take place, and that's when we'll be dropping our speed down closer to the speed of sound. You'll see the flaps start to maneuver. We were able to do a landing burn on Flight 4, which kind of caught all of us off guard. It was pretty incredible after seeing the flaps survive through. And we're going to try and do another one on this flight today. We tweaked it a little bit, so we're going to try and splash down at a little bit of a gentler angle this time, instead of just kind of hit the water and fall over. And the goal with that is try and keep the ship intact, and then if we're able to
go out and get
then get some additional video of it, again, that's just more data. And everything we can see, everything we can get extra, like a couple extra seconds or minutes of data.
Yeah, the metal's changing color.
Starship has passed through the peak heating phase of flight, approaching maximum entry dynamic pressure.
All right, we're through peak heating. Coming up is basically max Q part 2, where we're going to hit kind of that part of the curve where we're still moving really fast and the atmosphere is just dense enough that we're feeling the
Look at
most
this
pressure.
view.
But
Wow.
hopefully we're going to start feeling a little bit less heat now.
Got 4 views going.
Looks like we got more views of each of the flaps on the ship as it's making its way back down to Earth. And we did pass through peak heating and still got really good views throughout that whole period. Typically during the highest heat on the vehicle, we tend to build up a lot of plasma, and that's typically
ADHD.
when we would lose, connection or views of the vehicle. But again, with Starlink, we were able to get some live views throughout that entire process there.
It'd be a wild ride to be in that
we'll
bitch
start
right
hearing
now.
a couple more milestones in about 4 minutes or so when we start getting down to like the transonic, the subsonic, when we're starting to move closer to and beneath the speed of sound. And
You're so tired, but not going to bed now.
Live views, we're getting live data. We've got a couple additional tests on this one today where we left off some missing tiles again to test some additional backup layers. We also have, I don't know if we can still quite see them in this view, but you may have noticed we had some kind of silvery looking tiles on Starship
it's
as
burning
well.
through on that flap.
And those were
See it.
pretty much standard tiles, but they were wrapped in aluminum. And it was a pretty simplistic,
Burning through.
straightforward one where
There goes the
aluminum
flap right
starts to
there.
melt at roughly the same temperature where steel starts to lose its strength, not necessarily melt. And so if we see stuff melting, we
Now those
know,
flaps on the newer ones are up farther on the body.
we know
They're
what our
not where
steel is
they're.
going to be exposed to. But yeah, 59 minutes since launch, should be coming up on transonic and everything in just about 3 minutes.
It survived last time.
Now the views here, we have coverage of all 4 flaps. We can see, so for those that perhaps didn't catch a glimpse of the vehicle before liftoff, there are 2 flaps at the forward end and 2 flaps at the aft end. The larger camera view that is there on the right-hand side of your screen, that is a view of one of the aft end or the bottom end flaps. We can start to see some heat buildup and peeking through on one of the flaps there in the top left-hand corner of your screen.
Somebody got a dog. Woof, woof, woof. Watching 3 streams.
Once again, Starship now at T plus 1 hour and 9 seconds.
Look how hot that's
into its flight
all
today,
red.
re-entering the Earth's atmosphere. Currently about 45 kilometers above the surface of the Earth, now 44. We are targeting a soft splashdown in the Indian Ocean.
That thing is hot.
Northwest-ish of Australia. And we are attempting to, as we did on Flight 4, perform a flip maneuver as well as
Starship is at maximum entry dynamic pressure, remains on a good trajectory.
All right, so that is great news there. Like
That'll
Dan
cool it
said
down
earlier,
quick.
this is basically max Q part 2. So this is the greatest amount of aerodynamic loads that the vehicle will experience during its flight. It's coming back through the Earth's atmosphere. It was above the Earth's atmosphere in space where there was no friction. We can obviously see heat as
the ocean,
evidence of that friction buildup. The atmosphere is actually helping to slow the vehicle down. If you're watching the telemetry in the bottom right-hand side, right-hand corner of your screen,
Cosmo
you can see
the dog.
that speed decelerating rapidly.
What the call out was, but it's cooling down now.
Now the 4 flaps on the ship help steer the vehicle, and one of the main objectives for the ship today is to demonstrate controlled re-entry during this phase of flight, this re-entry phase.
That's not one of the better views.
And we have 6 engines on ship, but we only need 3 of them, the 3 sea-level engines. We will have that flip maneuver happen very close to touching down for splashdown. We'll do that flip maneuver, ignite
From
those
the onboard
engines,
washroom.
slow the vehicle down immediately, and then
There's
hopefully
stars.
have a
We're
what we
looking up
call
at
a
something.
soft splash. What we call a soft splashdown in the water. It's probably going to feel a little bit harder on the top of the surface of the water, but it'll look pretty gentle.
Yeah, and like we said earlier, we hope to have some more views, even of that phase of the flight. So fingers crossed that we can we can bring those to you. We are hoping to splash down softer than we did last time on Flight 4. Right now, Starship continuing.
They got
to
camera
make its
buoys
descent
out there,
back
so
to
close
planet
enough to
Earth.
them to get some video. Not in the budget.
All right, great news there. That tells us
There's a
that
flap.
the vehicle is traveling twice the speed of sound. So we will then, the next call out that we'll hear is that it is, traveling about the speed of sound. And then we will hear a call out that that will be the call out that it is transonic. And then we will hear another call out saying that
Gonna hit in your backyard, Gammy.
being going slower than the speed of sound.
Starship is transonic.
There it is. So at this
Getting down there.
At this point in time, we say transonic because certain parts of the vehicle, like the flap that you see on your screen,
See the flap moving.
might be experiencing airflow faster than the speed of sound. While other parts of the ship may be experiencing airflow.
Starship is in the subsonic belly flop.
All
In
right,
the belly
so
flap.
now the entire vehicle is traveling slower than the speed of sound, so subsonic. The crowd here at Mission Control Hawthorne also getting excited, just like us. We're awaiting a water landing. We are going to reignite the 3 engines to perform that flip maneuver, and we're basically about a minute and a half, away from the landing flip.
Yeah, the crowd's getting excited here as we get closer and closer to splashdown. Again, just about a minute away from the expected splashdown, so we should see a lot happening coming up here shortly. We're currently having a view of one of the flaps, and it is a little bit dark on your screen, but hopefully we'll get some good views of the ship as it makes that flip.
Can't wait till it
maneuver
re-enters
and,
its first one in
touchdown
daytime
for
so you can see the whole
splashdown.
thing.
Yeah,
That'll probably be the catch.
Guys, we saw that speed drop like a rock. So we're doing a belly flip right now, or a belly flop right now. That's what's kind of, if you saw the high altitude campaign, that's the unique thing about how Starship comes back. So we've bled off pretty much all of the speed we're going to. We're essentially at terminal velocity.
Starship is at 5 kilometers altitude, remains on target.
5 to go, coming up soon, landing burn.
Whew.
2 kilometers away.
Starship is on target, approaching landing burn startup.
Stay on target. Stay on target.
So keep an eye on the bottom right-hand side of your screen as well. That will be the indicator when the Raptor engines ignite, if we are unable to see that illumination ourselves.
Landing burn startup.
They're lit. It flipped. Oh, they flipped too far.
Full view of the reflection of that landing burn.
You can see the water just behind the ship.
Oh,
Starship has landed.
it's hovered. It's in the water, and over it goes. There it goes. Going over. Oh, lost it. Ha ha. Holy shit, they got a drone. Boom. They had a boat or a drone out there, a water drone. Boom, there she goes. She's in the water.
Starship's journey, a live view from a buoy that we had out at the landing.
A buoy. It was close enough to the buoy so they could get a view. Look at that. Ha ha. I'll be a son of a bitch. Can't wait to get that.
Amazing. And
Boom. Another boom. I'll deal tough slate.
hardware, so that was
Well, the flaps on the newer ones are moved farther back. No, that's perfect. It's supposed to explode when it hits the water. When it hits the ground, it tips over. That's a lot of weight tipping over. It's not going to survive.
I don't think we're going to be able to get a ton of extra video of the heat shield, but we hit the target. We hit the target. Yeah. I mean, you know we hit the target because we had these buoys placed in a pretty specific spot, so...
That's pretty wild.
Wow. What a day. I feel like that's what I get to say. What a day. I mean, everything started off...
That's crazy.
With that launch. We were able to lift off towards the end of our window, 7:25 a.m. Central Time. 33 out of 33 Raptors in the way uphill. Successful hot stage. Booster came back. We watched it come down right behind us. Watched it get caught. And that broke my brain for a while. I'm really happy we had coast for a bit, but that's first ever booster catch. Major step on the way to
There's nothing toxic. It's stainless steel.
Just
a little MacDonald doll.
Show, making it through a controlled re-entry.
Nothing toxic.
Time. Flaps intact. Made it down to the water.
It's all nitrogen gas.
Hey,
little methane, little oxygen, and
sure as hell flew today.
Stainless steel.
Let's get ready for the next one. Over to you guys.
But your ocean.
They were meant to fly, and they were also meant to be caught by Mechazilla.
Yeah.
It's been such an incredible day today. Congratulations to our teammates and to everyone who supported the Starship program. And thank you to all of our future customers for your support.
Yeah, pretty empty when it lands.
And we'll also like to thank the people of Cameron County, Texas, as well as the Coast Guard, the Federal Aviation Administration, the Government of Mexico, and the Australian Space Agency.
Now be sure to follow SpaceX on X for more updates on today's test flight and of course for future Starship news. Today was amazing, but the SpaceX action isn't over yet. Soon Falcon Heavy will launch NASA's Europa Clipper, and we're also going to be returning Dragon back to Earth with NASA's Crew 8 astronauts.
Holy shit.
So congratulations again to the SpaceX team. What an amazing launch and an even cooler catch. Thank you for watching, but we're going to leave you with an awesome recap of what has been the most epic
All right,
day.
we'll watch the recap and then call it a day ourselves. I got to go make some dinner. Oh, look at this shot. We didn't have this shot. Oh, look at that. It wiggled back and forth between them a little bit. Oh, killer shots. Holy shit. Nice. Alrighty, they're going to call it here. I'm going to call it here. Thanks everybody for coming, hanging out, and watching this with me. I got a little excited there when they made the catch. Thanks everybody for coming and hanging out. Brett, have a good night. Go to bed. It's over. And everybody else, absolutely great stream. Thanks for the 11 months, Brett, also. And have a great day, everybody. I'm out of here.